And now we can, so we can switch off our videos, and now let us go back and start the program. Welcome everyone, and welcome to the session. And as people will keep joining in, I think what we will do is we can just do a little bit of but let's see what happens with the data. When we are dealing with the data, usually what happens, first of all, people don't collect the data. When someone asks, give me the data, like someone asks you, can I have the last 6 months of your efficiency figures? So you don't feel like doing it, like collecting the data or giving it to someone, because all of us are afraid that someone will create some report out of it, and they would say that, well, they will comment on our efficiency. And we are always unsure of our efficiency. So but yeah, data is important nowadays. And now what we are here is to today demonstrate you what wonders you can do with the data. So one thing we should always remember is, if we tell people why we are collecting the data, then people will give you that. This is one thing. And the second thing is, if you collect the data and you don't do anything with it, keep on collecting the data, find some people, they keep on collecting samples, data, but they do nothing with the data. After some time, people will not give you the data. So you should analyze the data. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, it should make sense. You should be able to present this data to different people. After you collect the data, you should be able to present it. Presenting the data in the sense that it should communicate, convey a story. It should communicate. So that data collection makes sense only if you are able to make a sense out of it. So typically now, if you see, can we show a Excel sheet? Let's see an Excel sheet. Just hi everyone. Hi. So quite a few. How many of you have attended the? How many of you have attended our previous training programs? Okay, can you answer this question on the poll? Which industry you belong to? If you can just tell us which industry you belong to. As people are joining in, let's do this. So we got manufacturing, healthcare, and hospital, IT. Okay, that's great. So all these industries, banking, manufacturing, oil and gas, logistics, IT, this actually, IT professionals, this is a very, very high add-on service. And all of us, other people, healthcare, hospital, you can enter into the world of data analytics by doing a Power BI program. It's very, very powerful, right? So I think most of you have attended our programs. And can you tell me that have you attended our previous programs? Just write yes. Just write yes if you have attended our previous programs. And which program you have attended? Okay, you have attended Six Sigma. Okay. Yellow belt. Okay, Badrinath has attended our yellow belt. Okay, great. Sumit. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, just answer this poll as well. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Good to see Palika. Good to see Freddy, Muhammad. Okay, Priya. Okay, great. So you know me. Most of you know me. Okay, Rakshit. Okay, so most of you know me. Okay, fine. That's great. Good to know that. Okay, so most of you are okay, intermediate in Excel. Okay, so those well, many of you are telling, some of you are telling advanced also. You are in advanced, but most of you are in intermediate. So try to make sense out of it. This Excel sheet, which I am showing you, try to make a sense out of it. So can we see the Excel sheet, please? Okay. So this is an Excel sheet and order ID is there. Ship. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. And how many columns? Oh, so many columns. Okay. Can you make sense? Can anyone make sense out of it? What exactly this data is about? I think data is about, usually we go to the last columns, and those who have done Six Sigma with us, they know that you have to look at the Y, the output. But those who, I'm assuming many of you have not done training programs with us, so don't worry. So make a guess what this data is about. Sales. Okay, yeah. Okay, hi. Yes, yes. So hi, Emmanuel. Hi, Emmanuel. Good to know you. Okay, and yes, Abdul Muhib is telling it's sales and profit. Yes, Sumit, you're right. Okay, but if I want to know from which, now I'm testing your Six Sigma skills a little bit. If I want to know which product is giving me the best sales, which data, which plot you will do, which which plot you will do. Now I'm assuming many of you may not have done any training program. So today I'm going to, you know, actually we're not going to talk about any statistics, etc. It's a very much easier tool. Power BI is much easier tool. Not much statistics, but it's very powerful. It's easy to learn and it can do wonders. And it can also make your entry into the data analytics world, AI, machine learning, data analytics. See, the last part of AI and machine learning is presenting the data. So even if you start with this area, you're securing a great future for yourself. So let's see. I think today we have Neerja with us. Neerja, who also conducts our Power BI trainings. So I will ask Neerja if you can do wonders. Now we don't know anything. Let us see what type of meaning we might make out of this data, and what are the possibilities. Welcome, Neerja. Neerja, if you'd like to take
Thank you,
over from
sir.
here, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. So this is the data what I've received from you, saying that's the sales data, and you wanted some data analytics to be done in Power BI. So I'll just start working on Power BI now. Sir, I guess you can see my Power BI screen, right?
And
Yeah, we
those
can
who are
see
not
Neerja.
exposed to Power BI before, don't worry. This we are just showing you the end result right now, but there's a huge, there's a long journey of 4 days you have to cover to reach this stage. And of course, today we'll be introducing you to this wonderful world of Power BI. But yeah, let's see the end result. What kind of things can be done with this Microsoft Excel sheet? Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So I'm getting the data what you have sent me. There were three sheets in which orders, people, and returns were there. So I'm just loading in Power BI. Yes, the data is loaded now. It just takes seconds. How much ever the bigger the data is, we can take the data from Excel, CSV, SQL, Cloud, even the web browsers also. We can just get the data from the URLs and just work on it. So I'm just working on a few of the analysis part here. So I was just creating some outputs.
Those who have joined just recently, they might be wondering what's happening. So what we had done was we had just thrown some data, like in the form of Excel sheet, at a Power BI specialist, a Power BI expert, and you know we are just seeing what kind of things we can do with such data and how to make sense out of it. Of course, right now we are seeing what a typical Power BI expert would do with this data. But as I told you initially, and for those especially those who have joined now, this is something which it takes a little 3 to 4 days of journey to reach this level of expertise, and also with a certificate, which if you are interested, of course, we'll be giving at the end after 1.5 hours of this session. We'll be giving you all the details and information about that. So as you see, we're doing um, some dragging of and usage of some tools. We are able to generate, some graphs and charts. Now, some of you might think that these graphs and charts can be also easily generated in Excel sheet, but the best part is, you can make it real time. Another thing is you can also uh, you can with a very simple programming, not nothing, don't be afraid of that programming part, but very simple programming, you can link this data with multiple applications. And if you are into AI and ML, definitely you can link it to lots of applications, and you can get the different sources of data, and based on that you can even you can develop your own applications or enhance your applications. So every AI team, any AI app developer needs a Power BI specialist always. So yeah, so that's what I was just trying to tell you, as you were seeing certain things here, uh, which some colors are changing, and like a painter, and here comes the Power BI specialists, and trying to give some outputs. Yeah. Anyone has attended any Power BI session before? Any one of you? Yeah. So you might
Yes, sir.
feel that doing all these things or making such reports might be, uh, you know, very difficult, but as some of you who have attended, as I see Pranesh has attended already, you know that it takes a little effort. And also, this what we are showing is right now is a very, very preliminary thing, very, very preliminary thing. So, Nirja, now you can just start telling us what exactly
Yes.
you are doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did is I gave the total of sales. I gave got it to a card here so that we can view the total sales, and I've got the total quantity, average sales with using a just a small quick measure. I have a graph showing the sales trend year on year here, where I'm see when I'm just clicking on it, I'm able to see the total sales and what is the year, and even I can add many of the things here if required. There's an option here to see the quantity also in this. So here, the total sales and the total quantity. I have used an area graph here where I can see the quantity here and I can see the sales by year. Here is one more graph. I was like about to complete it. It is the pie graph where I'm trying to get the contribution of the segment. So I'm just, you can see the contribution, the value, and the percentage. There is no formula needed here. It is automatically when we get to a pie graph, we can decide what are all required in the labels and all. So through that, we can get an pie graph where you can see the total sales, sum of the quantity, and the contribution with the formula. And even I can make it, I have an option for focus mode so that I can just increase it and just go through the data here. And so you may ask that, okay, I have got the data here, but I would need some analytics on this particular data. So that also is possible. There's an analytical tool here which says, see, it says that the consumer mode segment has the highest total sales, followed by the corporate and the home office. And if I want, I can just select the ship mode. There are 4 ship modes. I can just click one of it and see the slicer working on each and every visualizations what I made. So for example, I'm just selecting the first class. The ship mode is first class. The total sales, total quantity, average, everything is changing based on the first class. If I am selecting the same day, ship mode same day. So the same will change. If I wanted multi-selections, I can do multi-selections. I can use this as an horizontal slicer. Else I have an see drop down here. I can just click here so that only this is the segment where it only gets the consumer details. If I select corporate, it will change again. So I have a data at one place which has been edited, formatting using the Power Query and transforming data, then getting that to Power BI, making some small codings as Sir said, new measures and access, and getting the data. And this is how it is easy. And maybe it would have taken 7 or 8 minutes for me to just make this. So this will be means whenever the data is updated, you refresh, you have an incremental refresh here so that you can decide whenever you want to refresh it. Maybe daily once you want, weekly you want, or whenever you want, you open and just refresh. That is your decision. You can schedule it. So whenever you want, you can just refresh the data and nothing has to be changed. Even if you have any error in your data, you have /NA, blank in data, everything can be find out and rectified. It is not like you have an error, it is not loaded. Those problems won't be there in Power BI. And we have n number of sets data sources where we can get from. This is just an example, a list of, then we can go for more, and we have a very big list. It gets from Azure, Power Platform, Azure Online Services, Oracle, SQL, SAP data, CRM, Salesforce is there. At Salesforce, we can get Google Analytics, we can get the data. We can just get on any of the website URL and get the data analytics done here. Yes, sir. I hope you would have liked it, and just please ask me some few questions. What analysis do you want to make? Okay, we'll just go through the syllabus of Power BI. What
And
are,
just,
yes, sorry, sir.
I think we have got Mohammed who's asked about one question. So
Yes.
that, all these things are very much possible using Excel, but what are the additional things in Power BI? So now, Mohammed, you are going to get the answer. So they're very, very basic things. Yeah, please go ahead. That's what actually you will get. In fact, these are very, very limited features and initial features of Power BI, but very soon you will, hear what Power BI can do. So please go ahead, Neerja.
Yeah, sure, sir. Thank you. When you're working in Excel, you would need to work on macros or VBA codings where you have to see that you update the data, use pivots, right? Change the formatting, see that every text has been like spacing is there. So even if you work on the online sources like SQL, a big, large data, if you work, you won't be able to work in an Excel sheet more than a number of rows and columns, right? And even Power BI has an option where you can get the data from different types of sources. For example, you can get one data from Excel, one from PDF, one from Salesforce, or one from somewhere else, maybe 10 different types of data sources, and add them to single dashboard. That is the advantage of Power BI. We have a row level security where you can give the security to the concerned person, saying that only this particular branch person can view his data. We can give the mail ID access to him. We have a Power BI service where we publish the data, which activates the data only for him to view that. And for example, you have some, you are a data analyst or MIS analyst for the organization, and you would be working on few departments, like you work on sales, you work on finance, you work on production, purchase, right? You make different dashboards. In Excel, if you're working on few dashboards, what would you do? You have to, okay, sales, finance, production, and inventory I'm taking. For example, this is a separate dashboard you have made, and the CEO wants a combined report. That is one sales trend. From sales, he wants sales trend. From finance, he wants to see the profit and he wants to see the cost to the company. Production, he wants to see how many are the missions which are updated per day, what is the average. And inventory, he wants to know the inventory, what is it, high or low. Okay, so in Power BI, we have an option saying tiles where all these separate dashboards. We can take each one visualizations to one particular dashboard so that that particular person can view everything he wants from the other segment. But Excel, I don't think you would have the option. If you have, then you have to get all the data, right? You have to get the sales trend data, you have to get the finance data, you have to get the production data, merge it, work on it, hide the data in Excel sheet, and then make the visualization. But here it is not the case. Here for each and every dashboard, what you make, the formatting work, what you do is saved as a data set and it is being published to the Power BI service. And that one particular data set can be used to n number of dashboards you want. For example, the same what I said. Maybe the salesperson would see sales, but he won't require the finance or other departments. But the head of the management people, what they say, they want the combination of what happens. So those things can't be possible in the Excel sheet. And here in Power BI, you can decide at what particular date you want to refresh the data. For example, you have 4 years data and you want only the data to be refreshed for this particular month. And the previous details should be the same as it is because there won't be any change generally in the sales data. It would be submitted to tax people. So we have an option of refreshing the data in the particular time period schedule. We have an option of total refresh. Decide who to refresh, and even you can decide it whether if it's in sales data, right? You want it to be generated 2 hours once or 4 hours once. So that also you can just update it. Just get the data from SQL. You already would have the tables in SQL, right? So from that, just get the data, make the visualization, give some measures. Say you have the options you have date functions in Power BI. You have many logical functions. What you have like sum, if you have options of merging it, changing the formatting of the file. However, maybe it has a null or errors. You can do that. You have an option of using the Q&A, that is smart narrative. It itself tells you what is it. So it gives you the inferences. Generally, what data analyst would do is just focus on what data, working on it, formatting, see that it looks good, coloring. That is what we do, right? But the best part, which a data analyst should do, and the final of his career is that he should give an inference to the management to make a decision based on the data analysis he made. So this smart narrative is very important, which is very useful. It's a good feature, advanced feature made in the Power BI. And even you have an Q&A section in Power BI where you can just build some questions on your own, and few of the questions it would suggest. So whenever you would click on the questions, the top cities by net sales, it would give me the answer. See, it is getting the data from the table which I had loaded, from where I can see the city name and I can see the sales. Do you have this option in Excel? No, right? So I'm just typing whatever I want here and I would get the answer. And even it is suggesting and have an option of adding few of the questions if I want more. To see total sales by top states, even I can just type it so that it will come. It will say that what is the average sales, if I ask, it would say, give me the answer. This is what the average sales is. We have an option of text box where you can yourself frame the words. This is actually the answers, which is smart narrative is automated in Power BI, right? So you can just use these answers and write your own stories. You can say highest sales value and you can add a value with a formula so that whenever you click the slicer, it changes. And KPIs means it is very easy in Power BI where you can see the goal, what is the decline growth over last year, or you have declined over last year. You can just decide it based on the number, the font color, and the area specific. You also have an option. See, I'll just show you. This is the sales, right? We can go through the mapping here with in the same screen. I'm just going to click to sales. It is a sales data what I have. And I can make n number of sheets like this in the dashboards where I can use the buttons and I can just click on it and get the changed data here. So we did not use number of pages also here actually. And we have an option of tooltip. Just see, I have an contribution data, okay, total profit by region, right? So if I want to dig more in this data, generally what you will do in Excel, if you do what you have to do, you have to go to the pivot or you have to double click, right? Let's see. There are few visualizations in a visualization. I'm just clicking my pie graph where I can see the details of East area where I'm seeing the month-wise data. I am seeing the sum of the quantity of region, profit by region, right? Total sales by region, total subcategory net sales. There are options here for tooltip. For example, see, actually this graph is only for sum of quantity for the ship mode. But see, the detail what is showing, it is showing the state, sum of quantity, what was the ship mode, what is the region, and what is the latest ship date, what it happened. Even I can add many more here like total sales, total quantity, average quantity, max quantity, whichever I want. I can just keep on adding in this tooltip. These all things are not available in Excel, right? So once work done here, you need not go back and check for any details in Power BI. Even you have options of getting the image, getting the logos here. You can convert the Power BI visualizations to JPG, PDF, and now newly in month of January, they have added an additional option that you can just copy paste these visualizations in PowerPoint presentation. It's embedded. It means once you have done with it and shooted it, posted it, published it to the person who required it, that's it. For the whole year, not only whole year, till the time you are using the dashboard, what we have published, no, the same data, just they can open, it would refresh whenever we refresh here in our Power BI, it would refresh there in their PowerPoint presentation. See how easy it is. Generally, what people do, we have monthly MRMs, monthly sales meetings, where you update the data, work on the data, write the inferences, say this is that and all things, check once again, and you make the presentations, make the color combinations, edit from fonts and all, work on it, and send it to the concerned person. But while you use Power BI, this once you made a dashboard, used the URL of this dashboard in an PowerPoint presentation. That's it. The one whom you're sending need not have Power BI software installed in their system. If they are having the PowerPoint presentation, that's it. That too, it is interactive as you see. For example, I'm just clicking on this east. Okay. So all the visualizations or cards I have used would show me only the data which is of east. I'm clicking on west, see the highlighted. So only of west data is being highlighted. I also have a slicer here with the region, see. I hope you're able to see the difference when I'm clicking on each of the things. And even I can select all, I can select both. We can use the if logic here. We have an usage of DAX here. You have an option of just writing things here, parameter. Like for example, you have a sales data, forecast data. Your manager would ask you that what is that if I give a percentage of discount of 30 and what would be the result what I get. So I'll just add 30 and see the difference here. I can even move the bar or write it and get the data using this can be used in the forecasting. You have the option for conditional formatting like this here, even the color, background, font, the icons you can use and just visualize saying that this is what it is going higher, lower, or it is stable. So each and everything which are used for the data analysis is being inbuilt in Power BI in a simple way. Generally, if you go to Python or Tableau or any other software, like you would need to know or have the knowledge of some programming, coding knowledge. But here it is not required. You just have the skill of understanding. You're stronger that you can do it, then we can do it. These are all we can, which are not actually possible in Excel. There's a dynamic title where you can just see, select. This is the net sales actually showing with the East Western regions. Now it changes to total profit. Even though access also can be changed with the help of visualization in Power BI. So this work once done, it's forever. That's it. You can just improvise it. They have many visualizations. That is, it is not only the list what they have here. Even you can add more visualizations, import it, whichever you want, you can do it. You also have an option for organization chart here, mapping here. When you are working on the population, right? Population of machines or population of coverage of people, you can all do this very easily. So, okay, this is what is about Power BI. We have a few options on Power BI. It is Power BI Service, Power BI Desktop, and Power BI Embedded. Power BI Desktop is what I have just used and I was showing it to you, making the visualizations. And Power BI Service is the place where you can publish n number of dashboards. From that Power BI Service, you can just share the link to your concerned person for them to open and view the dashboards. These dashboards are actually free in your mobile apps. You can just download the Power BI app and it is free for as of now. That the Power BI visualizations what you have made in desktop when published to service, can be viewed in your mobile app. So it is not that you open your laptops or systems or to work on it. Your heads can just view the data going through the app. Yeah, so I guess someone has some doubt. Okay. Vinod, okay, you were asking kindly show me how to share Power BI report to client. So that is what I was explaining. Power BI desktop, we work on the dashboards number of pages. Take that to, yes, it is an free installation for 60 days. Actually, after that, if you want, then you have to make an payment for that monthly. It would be nearly 650 or 750 per month. One sign in. And you can only sign in using your company organization email ID. It won't take the personal email IDs. Yeah, sorry, Vinod. Coming to your point, when we work on the Power BI desktop, we publish the data and that goes to the Power BI service. It is an dashboard. Okay, it's a set of dashboards what it goes to. From there, you can just have to share. You have an option here, share. And if it is an Power BI service of your organization, then it is very easy for you so that already there would be the inbuilt email IDs and contacts in your Power BI service. So you can just copy paste the link and share it. And now from last month, you have an option of sharing your Power BI desktop visualizations using Power BI embedded PowerPoint presentation, which is very easy. Means they don't need to download Power BI desktop. Just should have a PowerPoint presentation, open it, and you can just tell them that the data has been refreshed. You can just open and go through the data. That's it. So every time they open the file, the URL, when the net is connected, URL will connect and refresh. Salman asked from where you get these informations. I don't understand what he meant actually. You mean the data where you get from or the type of analysis what you want from? Both are being like trained in the Power BI trainings that we will be training you how to use the data and what are the visualizations which are to be used for representing this particular data. Few data are to be only represented in some ways, right? It is not that everything can be in a table or matrix format. I don't know why it is not accepting a personal. It only aspects the organization mail IDs, and it would give a free section of 60 days in which you can just use your Power BI desktop and see how good, like how easy it is, and just you can pay and you can do that. Thank you. What was Power BI previously? What we said is Excel adding. It was Excel add-in, it was in Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View, and Power Mac as 4 different things. Now, after that, they have made an software for that. It's a collection of services, apps, connectors that work together to turn your unrelated sources of data into visual, visual and interactive insights. So you can link a live data, you can take the imported data. That is, it is not a fresh data, like online data. You can just refresh whenever you want, update the data. You can take the data from SharePoints. You can just work on one single dashboard and use the data set to n number of dashboards. In Excel, if you work on some data, right, what happens? You have to just copy the data or get the source. You put this from this sheet to that sheet, you have to copy paste or get the data here and work on the graphical reporting. But that all is not required. Once you have done, that's it. That can be used in any n number of dashboards what you have. Benefits of Power BI. A quick start. All the sources, setups from online sources or offline sources can be taken. Is very easy. Automating data publish and distribution is very easy. You can just share the data. You can decide to whom the data issue is to be shared. You can decide the data refresh when you want. And you have easy tools to customize dashboards and use the inferences, use charts, use the inferences and make data-driven decisions. You have row level security where you can decide, filter who is the person who has to go through the data. It is very easy. Like, see, you would have seen when sir was asking me, how do you get the visualizations and what is the time you have taken? I just took 7 to 8 minutes when I got all the data, right? Total sales and all the things. Everything would be as in change type in the Power BI. It takes the column data based on the data what it is. So it takes as text or number or date. It decides, and even we can change it. So you can just connect to data, transform and model the data, create charts and graphs, create reports and dashboards, share the data through Power BI service, or now newly they have added one more as an Power BI embedded PowerPoint presentation. You have few building blocks in Power BI. Those are visualizations, data sets, reports, dashboards, and tiles. So I'll just give a glance of it, like how it looks like. This is the visualization using color coding, numbers, labels, add labels, like you can rotate, you can give the border. You can decide what color it should show. For example, you have an data which has been last year and this year data. If the data of current year is greater than last year, it should be in green. If it is not, it should be in red. What will you do in Excel? You would have to use the macros there, right? Here, it is very simple than that. So we can make n number of visualizations here. Then we have an option of data sets where you can do the editing, formatting, changing the text or date, decimal numbers, merge, group by, sum, add a table. So everything is possible here. And that too, once you do it, that's it. The data with the same format every time whenever it is refreshed, it does it. These are reports, a collection of visualizations. You can also create reports in the Power BI service that comes to the tiles option, where you can take pick each one graphical or table or matrix visualizations and get to one. Maybe from sales, you get sales data, finance, you get the expenses, cost to the company, then production data, all the things you can just show it to the management that this is what is the final report, what you wanted. These are all the parameters what they wanted, because the management level would think of the parameters differently, right? Sales would have some sales parameters of only related to sales, but the whole management would think of overall company, right? So in that cases, you can make few dashboards separately to the department and you can combine all that to here. You need not work it double time. Okay. These are sharing a collection of visualizations. You can create a dashboards, much like that dashboard where you see in the car, right? You see that like petrol, how much it is, what is the service date and all. So it is very easy going with the color combinations. And you can just, if you want, you can just focus, use the focus mode to make it bigger and see the visualizations in detail if you want. This is the additional feature was what I was explaining you as the inferences. So narrative visualizations. You can just make it in a click, get this, any of the graph, you can just make it to an inference like this that it would give. If you are not like using these wordings, then you can make your own wordings using the text box. And you have also an option of Q&A where you can just type and you can get the answers there. So all these options are very useful for the analysis part. And this is the Power BI embedded source to PowerPoint presentation, where see it would view like this. You can just click on it, and as we were clicking on the Power BI desktop, right? I was clicking on a part and other things were a little lighter in color, transparency, and that highlighted was the data, what it was selected. So all this, the interactive PowerPoint presentation with an embedded Power BI is also added in Power BI newly. Going through this course, you will be eligible to write an exam on Power BI, that is PL 300, where you can start giving your examinations for the certification as a Microsoft Power BI specialist, where it would be measuring the skills of preparing the data, 20 to 25%, model the data, and that is formatting or editing the data, visualization of data, analyze the data, and deploy and maintain delivery. Deploy and maintaining means it is the row level, like the security what you give or the incremental scheduling what you give is that. So all these topics are being covered in the courses what we are offering you. So the first will be going to the introduction of desktop, how to get the data. I will be explaining you how to get the data from SQL, how to use the import and direct query option. So import is an local data where you have to download and get the data and come here and refresh. But direct query is what? Online. Refresh is not required. So whenever you just go through any visualizations, the data is refreshed and SQL will be refreshed here in Power BI automatically. Then we can have an audit on the data quality, what we are loaded to a Power BI desktop, use it, change, see that no errors are there in the first step itself. Then comes the star schema and snowflake schema, where you can have the vast knowledge on how the data should be worked on. What is the process of data to start working with? The first thing when you get a report is you have to know the objective of the report, right? Then you should know how you should link the data, which are the parameters you have to link, which all have to not to be connected. So all these things have to be explained to you. So I'll just go through with that. Then coming to the transforming data, like editing, we have a Power Query editor, which makes the merging of data, appending data easy. So what is merging? Getting the common things from two tables, so two or more tables. Appending is getting all the data from, means first table you have 10, second table you have 5, means 10 plus 5, 15 is appending. Merge Maybe first table has 10, second table has 5, but the common things maybe would be only 2 in both of the tables. So those sort of things, transforming data, grouping it, merging it, okay, getting a new query, using parameters to just select the date, what you want to refresh or select. So all the things we can learn in the Power Query. Even Power Query is very useful enough in Excel sheets. It is an Excel add-on. So we'll be explaining you how to work on the Excel and even Power BI so that it will be multi-worked on. Then we'll be working on the data cleansing, changing data, grouping data, merging data, unpivoting tables. Unpivoting is not like the pivot what you make in Excel sheets. It is much easier than what you do it in Excel. When you have a vast data and not in formatted way, where you have to transform the columns to rows, group it. Okay. So all these things are done with the use of unpivoting table. Then we can create a data model that is the tables, whatever you get. Maybe from Excel, you get one thing, you can get from PDF, you can get from web URL, you can get something from SAP, Salesforce, all these things, right? So you have to make a data model saying that this table is connected to that. That is what is actually the star schema and snowflakes, what I'll be explaining. You have to create a data model, which one to be like interrelated, linked to the other tables. And what is the relationship? You have to make it active, which relations should be deactivated. Next will be extending the data model with calculated columns. That is, we add a new column to the data what we have, which is added in the Power BI desktop, but not in your source file. So the source file will be the same, getting the data from there, just work on the DAX text adjustment, using if logicals, all the formulas which have been used in Excel, right? The same replicate here. Some small changes, that's it. So we have an option of measures, simple measures, complex measures, variables. You can use filters, filter throughout the dashboard we can use, filter throughout the visualizations you can use. So, okay, what a parameter is one of the part where you have seen the data. I was just entering it, right? I was entering the discount value and the data was changing according based on that. So those all things are easy with the parameter part. Row level security is a security where you can give to the concerned person to view the visualization. So only that person can go through that. Okay. The date and time functions is a big thing actually, because some of the dashboards would need the difference between the date, number of days, the same period, right? You generally see the sales trend. How do you do that? Now, if we are in January, Jan and Feb, right? So today Feb 8th, you say. Generally what we do, we have to do the apple to apple comparison. That is from January 1st to February 8th, this sales year month I'm taking. Then we have to take the sales data of last year of the same date to compare it, right? It can't be the whole year comparing to only 2 months. That is not even 1.5 months, right? So for that sort of data, the same period or YTD of that, total YTD, total MTD. So all this are being made very easy in Power BI with just a small measure. Text-based visualizations, you saw it when I made the Power BI dashboard desktop, right? For the visualization, I made in sales, total sales, average of sales, just made a total of quantity. I did not go to the like column and drag something, right? I did not do anything. I just made a small measure there and I got that. I can use the conditional formatting where I can give the icons there for the visualization. I can make the colors of font colors green, red to just make the visualizations very easy for understanding. I have charts and tool tips, what I was like showing you, right? In a particular graph, if it is of total sales, but still I can show the maximum of sales, average of sales. I can show the total quantity, something which is not related to that particular chart also in that particular x-axis, which is not related to that also can be got to the tooltip. You have option of drill through. Just visualize. You have n number of 4 years data where you have to drill through months, particular months in that. What you will do in Excel, you will have to make a different charts for that. Means the first chart will be year. Then if that is selected with a slicer of power pivot table, then to the next graph where it shows to the month. But in Power BI, it is not that. It is just a plus mark. Just open that and you can go inside, drill through, see the particular months, click that month. You can see the particular customers in it. You can click the customers. You can see the particular customer, how many products it has. Means it is not what you did actually. You just have to make the hierarchy in the place, set in that place so that the drill through works. That's it. It is just a simple tool what you would learn to do that. But if it is in Excel or some other softwares, no, it is very easy when very hard when you're working on this type of drill through data. Right. You have options of analysis. You have the text box option. You have the smart narrative. You have key influencer where you can use saying that this is what has been influenced your sales to go low or sales to go high. We'll take it positively. So you can just analyze what the data has, what is the main point which has been triggered the sales. So which was the segment which has been gone higher or what is it? It itself finds and it will give you and say that this is what is the answer is for the data what you have given. Then you can have use the publishing of data to Power BI service, Power BI PowerPoint presentation. You can use the data sets, one data set to different types of dashboards. Right. Okay. Mohammed, you're asking what format of data is required to generate such attractive dashboards. Format is to be made by you. Even it is an Excel sheet, CSV file, Notepad, it is a website, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, wherever, whichever it is, you can just get the data using the Power BI load or transform options. You can format it in whichever way you want. You can split that. You can use prefix, suffix, concat the data, remove the means from a date. You can one single column data. You can make n number of things there: year, quarter, month, first date, end date. Everything can be got using one single column with you. No, examination fees is different, Balaji. It is not included like here because Power BI PL300 is an examination conducted by Microsoft directly. So we'll be training for that. You have to pay the examination fees in that particular website and you have to work on it. PL300, yeah. Near about comes to 5,500, I guess. Along with this Power BI software, we will be training you even on the advanced Excel, where you'll get the efficiency on how to work on the MIS reports. So you all would have known this, right? Because you all know, you said that you all have the knowledge in basic Excel knowledge, right? So this all you would have already known that businesses uses Excel to store, visualize, analyze data. Excel supports data for understanding pipelines, automation tools. It avoids humor errors. Large databases can be used. Data security is there. I can use the protect options there, and we have some few advanced features there in Excel sheet to work on it. So here in this course, actually, you can go through the how to make the dynamic graphs, work on macros where you can reduce your repetitive work, so that we explain you how to do it. We'll explain you what are all the graphs to be used, how you have to work on the inferences part. Okay, so we'll be going through the topics like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, pivot, data validation, advanced chatting, advanced filtering, advanced sorting, grouping, conditional formatting, protecting sheets, using the hyperlink, using the name manager, which will be very useful when you are using your pivots or graphical reports. So in details, if you go, this is what it is, like editing worksheets, print alignment, page viewing, to taking the print or giving any work for documentation when you work on it, right? So you can work on it. You can work on the pivot tables where you can use inserting the slicers for normal text, and you can use the timeline slicer for dates and all. Formatting charts, smart charts, sharing a file, okay, tracking it. Using the data validation. What is data validation used for actually? We reduce the manual entry for that, right? We just restrict people using the cell, right? We want them in what format we want. You just want that only to be entered. So those all things can be done with the data validation. We can work on like working on stop or warning information, giving the input for that. We also like teach you working with formulas like sum, average, max, mini, all if, nested if, combining if, some ifs also you can use for summarization. This is for texting proper, left, right, substitute, indirect will be for texting and all. VLOOKUP, you will be learning VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. You can learn VLOOKUP picture. You can use the match function, hyperlinking, advanced chatting, grouping of the file, subtotaling it is very easily, not using sum and all. You can just click and get the subtotal. You have an analysis part here in Excel also, that is what if analysis, where you can just get the answers which you want, selecting the previous rough data. For example, if you are a salesperson, okay, you have an target of somewhere near 100, and you have an incentive that you get 80%. If you can do 80% of it, then you can get this much percentage, maybe 1.25% of the basic value. So what you'll do, you can use this what if analysis, and you can ask that how much is that I have to do to get 50,000 this time. It would give you the answer that this is what, and this is what is the percent you have to do. So all this are possible using the what if analysis. You have the different types of forms you can use, and using interactive control here in the Excel dashboards, scroll bar, check bar, and all you can do it. conditional formatting, you would have started using it. You have many usages on it. You can just use the conditional formatting for a particular cell using the other cell also. Not only the particular like text contain or greater than less than you would have used, right? Not only that, even you can decide based on the other cell also you can do that. So advanced filters and sorting we can group the dates to month, quarter and all in the grouping sections. That will be explaining you. So these are all like Power BI or advanced Excel comes totally to the management information system, right? Where it plays a very vital role, important role in the organizations. It creates an impact on the organization because based on those MIS reports only, they will be taking the data-driven solutions. So we will be explaining you what is like how you have to work on a data, what is the process, how you have to start with when starting with data capturing, how to process it, how to store it, how to see that the information is matching or not. Then coming to the way, the types of informations what people would need, how you have to work on different charts. So that, and we will, the advantages of Excel, this is the fast data processing. Excel or Power BI is much faster, yeah. So basic thing is advanced Excel. From there to Power BI we can go. Reduces data duplication, improved backup systems, easy access to information. See the data, you can initially investigate, review it, see, get the requirements, get the parameters, you can design it, code it, use macros or use advanced Excel formulas, implement it, then do the maintenance every month. You can just go through that. Every company would have its own format, right? It has like a number of softwares used. They use SAP, Salesforce, they use even they use QuickView, right? All these are there, but they are for data, abstracting data, making them into table. But if you are going to the next step, that is a data analyst, then you have to start working on these advanced Excel, Power BI with analytical data-driven inferences workings. So for all to get you to the next level would be training you the have to work on the data and come to the end result of it. So in all departments, you would have seen people using data, right? Maybe you would think, well, what are all the departments? All the departments, sales and marketing, human resources, branding, digital marketing, planning department, production department, inventory, purchase, finance, costing, service and customer care, stores, company secretary would use it, sales coordinator would use it, right? They would use it for like how many I've dispatched today, what was that happened, what is the KPI? So every company now has an KPI, roles and responsibilities to the people, right? So those roles and responsibilities, whether they have achieved or not, adhered or not, has to be cross-checked. So that would be not in an data, it would be a visualization. Generally, the first thing what people would explain when you're starting the PowerPoint presentation, what is it? A visual is more powerful than what we speak, right? Because people generally listen. They won't hear it properly. Means this just like they would be thinking something and we would be explaining and that goes out from their mind. But when you use a visualization, it is 100 and 1,000 times more the data which you wanted to give them goes to their mind. seeing in red or green, right? A person can generally say, normal person can say, "Arey, what happened? This green is going up. This is going down," right? When you use a line graph or bar graph, it is very easy, right? For a common man also to decide how you're going, what is the trend. So all this are teach to you in this particular course of Power BI and Advanced Excel. I guess you can see the Excel, Advanced Excel, where I have just worked on the pivot. When I click the pivot here, no, see, I have made a formula here, small formula here. So when whatever is being selected, no, you can just see selected, what are the things are selected here. I can just select it. And even I have my inferences made here. When I select that, no, I have made a formula here to get the inferences based on what I have selected using the pivot. I've just used pivot only. I did not do anything much here actually. See, I've made an region here inside the city, then the value. I made a line graph here, quarter wise, year wise. I made an time slicer here where I can see whichever year I want, particular year I want. I can change this to different quarters if I want. I can change month or number of days if you want to choose. This is only with a pivot, okay? The contribution. A usage of chart, have to use it, have to change the color, have to rotate it to the way you want. So all this using the pivot. Have to collapse the data. So what are all links? If we are going through a topic, right, we just take it to the fullest of the topic, that what are all the advantages of it to the fullest. Any doubts? Any clarifications? No. Thank you. See, I would be explaining each of the part with examples. Like each page I would be giving you so that you will have this in your database also. So that whenever you use it, it would be very easy for you to just go through what it was like taught that day. The recording of the day is also being shared with you so that it will be easy with the examples what I have gave you. I will be giving you the sample file also on which we are working on it so that it will be useful for you to just go through that. So these are all page wise. We just give what is all the functions, have to use if for index, all this transpose, have to use the Power Query. So getting all this done, no, you will be very like your Power BI software, when you're using it will be very useful for you. After knowing this advanced Excel, that will be very useful for you. This is the F formula we have used. the consolidated tables, how to consolidate two tables and just with a click, not using equal to and all, just with a click. Formatting, hyperlinking, using the shapes, how to use the paste special. So all these things are being explained. The graphical reports, see the collate here, graph, the colors, what we can give, the pointers, how you have to take out, color it or increase, decrease that. Use the combination of bar and line graphs. Use a gauge. Use a spark lines inside the cell, not graph, inside the cell. So you have n number of large number of data where you can't give any visualization separately. You can just use the spark line option where you have three options there with this waterfall, bar graph and line graph, where you can just use it for the showing the trend. You can make the color combination saying that first point should be like this, second point should be like this, highest point should be this one, negative point should be in red color. So whatever you just show it, right? It comes there. You can get the data from any of the websites. This is actually an example with the previous class we was taking. We took a data of mobiles, MI mobiles from Flipkart. Just getting this, I'm just selected this URL and got the data, edited the data using the Power Query. Abdul, I guess like Pavitra, but come back to you with the details of total costing for the next level of certification, including the examination fees. She will let you know about that. Oh, is it? Can you show the last slide in the Excel pivot? Okay. Yes, this is what now you wanted me to show. This is only with the using the pivots I made this. And those pivots are on the right hand side. Just here. So whenever you just come here and click your refresh all pivot, done. Everything is done here. This is what I was working on. Table matrix, pie, bar graph, donut. This is a normal one. But we have a subcategory. This is subcategory, this is also subcategory. Here we have used the formula of maximum average, and this is the spark line what I've used here. I've made some inferences so that every time it won't. Whenever you click something, no, it would change automatically based on that. I'm selecting only this particular month, no? So for that particular year, this is the maximum of sales, highest sales. This is the highest contribution it was made. And also They can do the reverse thing with index match functions to get the person, what is the class which has got the percentage. So from here, I used it using the concatenated formula here. I have a formula here actually. I just made the font white in the same background color so that you won't see it. But it is there here, answer is standard class here, and that is taken to the with the help of concatenating it. Okay, Jamal, thank you. Even in pivot, you have many more things to be learned actually. I don't know whether you would have gone through those. Uh, Pavitra, you can take over. I have completed my
Okay, thank you,
presentation.
Nirja.
Thank you.
We would like to announce our upcoming trainings for Power BI. Those who'd like to join at the complete training, and it's a 4 days training, so it will be approximately 25 to 28 hours of training. It's Power BI I'm talking about, and advanced Excel training is for 15 hours, which we are starting on February 28th, and Power BI training we are starting on March 20th, which is for 25 to 28 hours. So those who would like to join the session, please connect with us. And we will also like to take up the training timings are given here in different time zones. So we will take up another poll. Those who are interested immediately and would like to join immediately and attend the trainings or upcoming trainings, or those who would like to be contacted later, please complete this poll. It will help us to connect with you for those. Accordingly, we can contact you. Okay, that's good. And we also share the link to register for our courses on the chat box. So please feel free to register and connect with us. And thanks a lot for joining the session.
Thank you all.
So please join our advanced Excel training and Power BI certification. And we'd like to see you there.